Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Cooking for Connie, feeding a bougie dog. Today we are making another beef recipe. This recipe calls for ground beef, white rice, finely chopped broccoli, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons fresh or dried sage, and 3 shiitake mushrooms. So I'm using dried shiitake mushrooms for this recipe, but I definitely recommend checking the bag for instructions on how to prepare these. These mushrooms need to soak in warm water for 30 minutes, so that's what I'm doing here. I got the mushrooms at Wegmans, but you can also find these at, a local Asian grocery store. I'm aiming for like a cup and a half of broccoli once it's all done being chopped. Connie already doesn't like broccoli, so I'm really hoping that roasting the broccoli will also add enough flavor to it that she wants to eat some. I feel like we're sort of starting over from scratch with Connie's food and seeing if perhaps we can polish off some foods that we thought we knew she hated and prepare them in, a fancier way and see if that makes her want to eat. I'll also be adding olive oil and a teeny bit of salt before roasting these. I have cooked Connie broccoli in the past and put it into other meals for her, but it was frozen. And this time I'm just using fresh broccoli because I know it will taste the best. Once you have your broccoli chopped down enough to a good bite-sized piece, especially if your dog isn't picky about vegetables, you can go ahead and put it on a roasting pan. Roast that at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes, but I would keep an eye on it just to make sure that it's not browning too much. Start browning your meat. We prefer an 80-20 fat content for Connie's food just because she doesn't have any calorie restrictions. She's, trying to bulk up. If your dog, is already at a good weight or is heavier, you may want to adjust to a 90-10 beef opposed to the 80-20. I saved the shells and put them next to the broccoli in the oven. I was talking to Connie's vet about the diet, and he actually told me that cats cannot eat a vegetarian diet, but dogs can. I was very fascinated, but he said that dogs are better adapted to eat human scraps than cats are. I did tell the vet that we plan to feed Connie primarily beef and chicken, and he said the only meat he doesn't recommend is pork. The shiitake mushrooms were more annoying than I thought they would be to prepare. In addition to squeezing all the water out, they kind of got squishy and difficult to slice, and the knife moved around a lot underneath the squishiness of the mushroom. So the reason I'm putting shiitake mushrooms into the recipe in the first place is because there's a lot of health benefits for dogs. It includes immune support, and they enhance immune function and may potentially have anti-cancer properties. They also help reduce inflammation and support overall health. Hopefully the mushrooms don't cause Connie to turn her nose up at the whole dish, but best case, she spits it out on the floor. My husband and I did not grow up with dogs, so we didn't know what, a picky dog would look like. So, having a hard time feeding a dog, we just kind of felt that they were individuals just like people. And I'm pretty used to picky eaters with my own kids. So it didn't feel as crazy as everyone seems to feel it is when I tell them about this. People do find it unusual that our dog doesn't eat kibble, And they often say, well, you know, eventually she'd eat it, wouldn't she? And I think after 3 days of watching her not eat anything, we just said, you know, we have to make sure that she's eating. In case you missed it, I did end up putting a cup of white rice in there. Just combining this all now and making sure it's all nice and incorporated. Next up, I've got to crush these eggshells. Remember that we put them in the oven with the broccoli and let them kind of crisp up. What that does is it hardens the whites that are in the eggs, and it also makes the calcium a little more brittle and easier to smash down. Connie didn't care for the big chunks of shells last time, so my takeaway was to smash that down and see if she handled it better. The eggshells already look a lot better incorporated than they did last time, and I think Connie will like this texture a lot more. Up until I added the eggshells, this is totally a meal that would have been very tasty for a human to eat too. When it comes to food safety, you want to make sure that the temp is over 165 degrees. Connie seems really unsure about this one. I'm really worrying that she's not going to be interested in it. But I know that I need to just sit here and keep encouraging her to come take a bite. So in addition to Connie, we also have 3 cats. We have Cookie, who is our tuxedo. He will be 12 in May. And then we have Toff and Corona, who are 6-year-old rescues from underneath my in-laws' porch. You can see here where I push it towards her and she almost walks away, but then she starts resisting eye contact with me. She is a very submissive dog and a people pleaser, so I think she really does want to eat, but she just has this weird relationship still. So when Connie was rescued and sent home with raw food, I did want to clarify that this was pre-packaged food that we never saw in stores again. And I'm pretty sure that it was prescription dog food. And my husband said that when he asked the rescue if raw food was safe for dogs, they told him that this food might be what saves these dogs. So just to clarify what the raw food meant in my previous video. I'm really happy she decided to actually eat this food. I just have to put these Connie puppy videos in here too because I just can't even stand how adorable it was that her ears, I'm pretty sure, are literally the same size now as they were when she was a puppy. She just had to grow into them because seriously, that one right ear she's got that just almost sticks straight up, it makes me laugh every time I see it. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you join me for Connie's next meal. Take care of yourself. Tell your dog I say hi. Be the person your dog thinks you are. Bye.